Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Crypto Takeover coming back with a Bitcoin cryptocurrency video for you today. We're going to be going over a few articles along with the charts, and we got about 2 or 3 articles here. So if that sounds interesting, go ahead and stick around and let's jump right on into it. So Bitcoin just saw a rejection back at 20K once again, and now we're kind of waiting to see exactly if we're going to be trying to push back above 20K anytime soon, or if we're going to continue our retracement underneath 20K. I do believe some of the alts have taken off here in the past couple of hours or so, but we'll jump on into the charts here in a second. We got a CNBC article talking about top cryptocurrency regulator says to expect clarity in coming weeks on Bitcoin. Brian Brooks, acting comptroller of the cryptocurrency, said new crypto regulations are on the way, but nobody's going to ban Bitcoin. We're very focused on getting this right. We're very focused on not killing this, Brooks said, and it equally is important that we develop the networks behind Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. It is that we prevent money laundering and terrorism financing. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong warned of the downside of potential regulation last month. So obviously, you know that I do believe Coinbase has tightened up on some of their regulations too as well, with two-factor, I believe, and then also, you're going to see exchanges that are going to be more in compliance with regulations, and if that's the way that they need to do it, then by all means, and it probably is going to be the safest way, so that way bigger investors can start to get into the space a little bit more and just have a little bit more sense of security, I guess, when it comes to getting into crypto, making sure that you're not being used and not trying to be scammed out of your money. One of the United States' top financial regulations said Thursday that the new regulations on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies were coming soon, but he downplayed concerns that the new rules would be dispersive. Brian Brooks, the acting comptroller of the currency, told CNBC's Melissa Lee on a Sparkbox to expect clarity on cryptocurrency in the next 6 to 8 weeks, but said nobody's going to ban Bitcoin. We're very focused on getting this right. We're very focused on not killing this, Brooks said, and it's equally important that we develop the networks behind Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies and other cryptos, as it is that we prevent money laundering and terrorism financing. Concerns about potential regulation were heightened last month when Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong said on Twitter that he heard rumors that the Treasury Department was working to rush new crypto regulations before President Donald Trump's terms in January. So this was supposedly said to be one of the reasons why the market kind of dumped off too as well when Brian Armstrong did repost this. And it said this would be bad for America because it would force U.S. customers to use foreign regulated crypto companies to get access to these services. In long term, I believe this would put America's status in a financial hub at risk, Armstrong said. I think you're going to see a lot of good news from crypto before the end of the term, Brooks said. The price of Bitcoin has been a tear on recent weeks, sitting in the first record high since 2017 on Monday. The cryptocurrency has continued to trade in volatile manner, but has seen increased adoption by major financial companies and high-profile investors. PayPal recently implemented a system to let user buy and sell cryptocurrencies on its platform. And then we have Brooks saying down here, it may be a bubble. It may have been a bubble 2 years ago, but with more clarity, institutions that see this as a real thing are going to adopt at scale, which they've already started to do. So, institutional investors coming into the space, obviously they're going to crack down more on regulation. It's pretty much just a given, especially when it comes to Bitcoin, the main asset. And obviously there's other options that you can choose when it comes to cryptocurrencies. I mean, there's a lot of different options when it comes to crypto. So I wouldn't limit yourself just to Bitcoin. I know there's a lot of Bitcoin maximalists out there, but there's also a lot to be said that the way that the regulation has occurred is that Bitcoin probably could be compromised from its real use cases, and obviously its decentralized aspect of not having to be in such manner regulated either as well. So there's cases to both sides on whether you're a Bitcoin maximalist or whether you choose to step into the realm of some of these altcoins too as well. Here we have a Reuters article. S&P Dow Jones indicates indices a launch cryptocurrency index in 2021. S&P Dow Jones, a division of financial data provider S&P Global Inc., said on Thursday it would launch cryptocurrency indexes in 2021, making it the latest major finance company to enter the asset class of, I guess. So, I guess the ETF is a little bit different than the indexes. And maybe someone in the comments below can describe maybe the differences between the indexes and the ETFs. I'm not 100% too familiar with a lot of the stock market exchange stuff. But obviously we know that the S&P 500 is the top 500 companies inside of the US, and that is a index portfolio. If they are to create such an index portfolio with cryptocurrencies, obviously you'd have maybe like the top 100 cryptos inside of this index, but you know that tends to change relatively quickly sometimes too. So how they decide to implement this, we'll have to see coming in 2021. The S&P Dow Jones branded products will use data from New York-based virtual currency company Luca and more than 550 of the top traded coins, the company said. So they're actually going all the way up to 550 top traded coins. S&P clients will be able to work with their index providers to create customized indexes and other benchmarking tools on cryptocurrencies, S&P and Luca said in a joint statement. S&P and Luca hope more reliable pricing data will make it easier for investors to access new asset classes and reduce some of the risk that very volatile and speculative market, they said. So obviously if your broker is actually able to choose what cryptocurrencies go inside this index, that's pretty cool actually. That's pretty convenient. With digital assets such as cryptocurrencies becoming a more rapidly emerging asset class, the time is right for independent, reliable, and user-friendly benchmarks, said Peter Rothman, global head of innovation and strategy at S&P Dow Jones Indexes. The move by one of the world's most well-known index providers could help cryptocurrencies become more mainstream investments. It comes as Bitcoin continues to soar to record highs against the dollar, boosting by increased demand from investors who say the virtual currency is a hedge against inflation and safe haven assets. Bitcoin was trading at 19,300 in the latest trading on Thursday, having soared around 170% this year. Cryptocurrencies have been around for more than a decade, but have started attracting more interest from large financial companies over the last few years. Large firms, including Fidelity Investments and Japan's Norma Holdings, Inc., have started safeguarding Bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies for institutional investors, while major exchanges have started offering Bitcoin derivatives. The emergence of mainstream market infrastructure has made the asset class more accessible for institutional investors, with hedge fund managers such as Paul Tudor Jones and Stanley Duncan-Miller saying they include Bitcoin in their broad investment strategies. So we're just starting to see this come to more of the investment realm, such as the stock markets. So, there are obviously, I actually gave an update about some stocks that we were kind of looking at inside of our Patreon page. And if you're interested in joining us on our Patreon page, there's a link in the description box below. But we talked about some of the basically some of the stock companies that we are keeping a close eye on, because some of these stock companies are also crypto miners too as well. So we've listed a few of those stock companies inside of our Patreon page. If you want to check them out, you can feel free to use the link in the description box below and come over there and join us. So a member of the squad takes on cryptocurrency. Not too sure what this is about. U.S. Representative Rashida First term lawmaker composed a bill requiring stablecoins like Facebook Libra to be issued by banks. Very interesting. Facebook officials hauled in front of Congress to defend their plans of cryptocurrency Libra. They arrived with a pitch about financial inclusion. With Libra, people anywhere in the world would have access to the common payment network, they said, whether or not they had access to a bank. All it would take was a phone and a Facebook account. Representative, a member of the squad. I wonder why they quote-unquote call it a squad. That's so weird. Progressive first-term lawmakers had heard similar pitches before. Her Detroit district, the first poorest in the country, is populated with a very unbanked people. Facebook executives were describing in the past they had been pros faster tax returns, paychecks advance, and check cashing without checking account. But these offers came with little regulation and often with excuses, fees, and interest rates. Now here's Libra cryptocurrency that also seemed poised for a fall through in the regulatory cracks, backed by industry with a lot of power and data. She wondered if this was the next literation. People don't realize that this is coming. I feel like a mama bear and I have to watch out for what is coming from my district and neighborhood. Taliba says that's why she wants to talk with you about a thing called stablecoins. So interesting. So obviously we know that Facebook has, been in the light of cryptocurrency, but they've been under heavy scrutiny by regulations and stuff too, saying that it may not be the safest route to let Facebook control, money stuff and basically. And so I do believe that this is why they're, more a better indication of money coming from the actual banks instead of Facebook as well. So very interesting stuff there. Bitcoin price could hit 50K in 2021, Bloomberg analysis say. So we can go over the charts here in a second. Let's see. A path of least resistance for Bitcoin is on the higher side, and the cryptocurrency could more than double from its current value in 2021, according to Bloomberg analysis. I'm trying to see where they're talking about or what they see to say this. While the odds appear stacked in the favor of the bulls, the cryptocurrency remains vulnerable to a March-like panic sell-off in the global equities markets, according to Bloomberg analysis. However, they do not see prices falling below 10,000. The 10,000 mark has shifted a critical support level after serving as crypto resistance mark since 2017. The report says Bitcoin fell sharply to 3,863 in March, a global stock market collapse and fears of coronavirus-led recession boosting demand to the crash. Prices quickly recovered to 10,000 above in May. So obviously they're, maybe anticipating a little bit of a sell-off. Let's see here. Post data also favors a rally to 50,000 according to Bloomberg. The 2017 advance followed by 2016 supply reduction to 1,800 coins a day, and similar occurred in 2012 to 2013, Bloomberg analysis noted. History looks like it's repeating itself. Bitcoin's recent move to a new record high has happened roughly 7 months following the May 11 reward halving. Similar price action had unfolded following July 2016 supply reaction. So it looks like their main reasoning here is the halving, right? Having begun in $2 billion. Okay, cool. So let's go on into the charts here. Obviously we're looking at some interesting data here, especially with ETH. So we'll take a look at ETH as well and jump over here into the charts. We're taking a look at the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, we're kind of seeing a little bit of a downwards continuation possibly. We're seeing some consolidation here. We are dipping below our 21 EMA on the 4-hour chart. Money flow is also starting to round off just a tad bit. But if we start to zoom out, we can still see 5 hours kind of rounding off a little bit as well. 6 hours still looking pretty good. But it does look like our momentum wave is headed to the downside. And it looks like we are seeing a drip below our 21 EMA here too. So I would look for support possibly if we're going to come down any lower. Let's say if we dip below our 6-hour time frame, our 21 EMA on our 6-hour. Let's see where our 50 EMA is sitting at right now. 50 EMA is sitting at about 18,400. That's a possibility. And then, we're going to be looking for support if we break below our 50 at our 100 at about 17,500 or so. So seeing a little bit of a sell-off in Bitcoin is possible. It does look like these lower time frames or these mid time frames are actually starting to show a little bit of weakness as of right now, just basically with our money flow kind of thinning out here. That's our 2-hour time frame. Let's take a look at our 90-minute. 90-minute also dipping into that red money flow there. So what we'd want to see is probably us starting to round up from these lower time frames. Yeah, so we probably want to see our 2-hour maybe move back down into that red like we did back here after our major sell-off, and our 18% sell-off or so, and then we'll start to see it recover from there. So You know, I would definitely keep an eye probably here on the 6 hour. If we dip below our 21 EMA, that's going to be probably a little bit bearish. We'll look for support about the 50 or the 100. Let's see, it looks like we are still holding support here on our 8 hour and 10 hour 21 EMA. And our money flow still looks good on these higher time frames as of right now. Taking a look at the daily, does look like we are starting to maybe get a little bit of a red dot here too as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do come back down to retest that 21 EMA on our daily, which is right at about 17,800 or so. And then if we start to zoom out just a tad bit more, you can see that red dots have also been kind of showing up here on these higher time frames. So we definitely need to be aware of that and possible momentum loss here in Bitcoin, you know, just for the short term, for the shorter term that is given to us right now. So let's zoom out here. We are seeing a little bit of a support bounce here, possibly on our daily and on our 2-day with the Bitcoin dominance chart. And we're probably looking for a retest back at around 65% or so. Looking to probably try and get up above our 21 EMA for support. If we are to do that, then we could probably continue up a little bit higher. 12-hour time frame looks really good on the Bitcoin dominance chart, but it probably means that man, maybe something's going on with the dollar. You know, let's check that out. Let's see what's going on with the dollar here. So let's go back into our fiat charts, and we'll go into the DXY. Big green dot here on the 12-hour. Maybe trying to find support, but still looks like it's you know, remaining pretty bearish for the most part. But it does look like we are trying to find support here on the dollar index value, and maybe some consolidation out to the side at about 90 cents or so. But continuing to devalue in the dollar is not good, but it is good for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But it just means that we need to warn other people about this. You know, we need to warn other people that the death of the dollar is upon us. It has been in the works for a long time now. And obviously we know where to hedge our investments. If you have been keeping up with the data that has been circulating, and you know where to put your money. Obviously, this is not financial advice, but you know, we're trying to make our best decisions possible on this channel. So let's take a look at altcoins really quick, and we'll go on into Ethereum. Take a look at ETH just for the time being here. Let's start on the 10 hour. We haven't quite dipped below our 21 EMA yet on our 10 hour. 6 hour, it looks like it's starting to kind of push down to the bottom side just a tad bit. I would definitely keep a close eye on the 6 hour time frame and the 10 hour time frame to see if we dip below that 21 EMA. And then obviously if we dip below the 21 EMA on our 6 hour, we're probably looking for a retest at about the 100 EMA or so, maybe at about $530. And if we dip below that too, we could probably come into our 10 hour time frame and see where our 100 EMA is at about $500 on our 10 hour time frame as well too. So folks, that looks to be about it. Don't forget, we do have our Patreon membership that is available. We are doing a $100 giveaway when we hit 3,000 subs. So make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and that you get signed up for our newsletter. That is the only way to qualify for that $100 giveaway in one of our favorite altcoins. And then with that being said, don't forget Market Cipher is on sale still. If y'all want to use the link in the description box below to help support the channel, that would be greatly appreciated. And I think we're pretty much done for there. Let's give a shout out to our Patreon members just really quick. So shout out to Inkim, Jasmine, Crypto Rex, Leo, Raphael, Spark, Johnny 20, William, Quentin, Ben, Eric, Samuel, Tall Troy, Tim Luna, Egg Zen, Sean Stein, Greg, Haru Yor, Pike 379, Paul A. Keller. Thank you to our Patreon members and all the support that you've given us. I highly appreciate it. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and end it here. I'll see y'all in the next one. CTO signing out. Peace.